Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Hey everybody, good evening. And again, welcome. It's SWIM, S-W-Y-M. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. You know, I say that every time I come on my live stream and I catch myself going, they know that already. Well, guess what? Not everyone knows. And you might know a lot of things that you hear often. You know, when you repeat something, you know, it just gets into the heart, mind, and soul of those that you want to hear what it is that you're saying. So I just say it anyway, SWYM. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. I am Travis Bridges, your host with the most, I guess, anyway. And I have a good one for you. It's going to be real short. I am still kind of sort of in travel mode. I've been like really in travel mode for a while, and I will be for a few more weeks, but that's okay. I've got plans. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Thank you for hanging out with me, and whoever the other person is that's here with me. I thank you guys so much for being a part of what it is that I do. It's therapy for me. So if you just tune in while I'm live, or if you wait later in the week or later in life and check it out, it's therapy for myself. I can talk about things, situations, circumstances, subjects, and topics, and it just gives me that opportunity to express myself. And one of my commercials, it says, the little person in all of us wants and needs to be heard. And it's true. People go and sit on couches and spend quality time and big money for someone to just listen. And certain people are trained in certain ways to listen for certain things to get a better idea of why certain people go through certain situations. There is something called psychology, and it is the study of the mind, I guess, and the emotions and behavior, so to speak. There is something to that. Certain personality types behave in certain ways, and we have to study that, and then you can even treat certain behaviors. I was just listening to a podcaster just a few days ago who clearly says they do not believe in the D word, depression. And I didn't want to be the one to take it out of context. What he's saying is, and I'm not speaking for him, I'm just going to try again not to take what he's saying out of context, because I feel the same way. I'm not saying that people cannot be stressed or emotionally disturbed and or traumatized by certain things. But when we start getting into the word depression, and I want to be careful because this guy, you know, that I'm talking about, and these people is not just one, several other people that are YouTubers and bloggers and talk show hosts and all that. They have some of the same beliefs as it relates to depression. Clinically depressed, as I was talking about psychology, the study of the mind and certain types of behaviors. If you cross over into that avenue, then of course, yeah, it gets real. But on the surface, healthy-minded people with good, healthy spirits, I do believe, and I'm going to say we have the ability to overcome some of the stresses and traumas and circumstances that we go through that ordinarily we wouldn't know how to handle, which is why there are therapists and counselors and whatnot. And I'm just saying, if you're clinically depressed, or if you are emotionally disturbed in some kind of way and it's serious and you need medication, by all means, take your medication. And as the YouTuber slash blogger was saying, he just doesn't accept that for, I guess, people who claim to be healthy mentally and emotionally. And I'm just going to sort of teeter on that side. I believe we have the hope of glory on the inside of us. We're created in the image of the original creator of all things, and we have the ability to overcome most of the obstacles that we face in life. And again, there are those things that are too heavy for us and for some people, and they will go through certain types of experiences where, it's tough. They'll turn to drugs. I'll say we will turn to drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling. There's so many things that when we can't deal with our traumas and our emotional difficulties, that we go to things to medicate. So with that being said, how did I get on that anyway? I do have a subject. I'm going to switch gears right now in midstream. It's not necessarily, I'm going to call it a semi topic. It's called It Has No Choice. And I like to be somewhat, what is the word I'm looking for? Abstract. When I put my titles out there, especially if I am in production mode. I am a production guy. My background is in radio, and from my home/road studio, I write script, I voice spots, and I edit content for audio and video. I used to say radio and TV, but radio and TV is now a part of media, as not necessarily mainstream, because the internet and other social media platforms are really picking up. So I edit content for audio and video platforms. How about that? And it's just kind of sort of what I do. Let me get back on my point. It has no choice. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about, being abstract. So when I put this together, I put that title out there, or topic, and I want to talk about it. What am I talking about? Being accountable for ourselves, or myself. I'm going to speak for me, for myself and my goals. And I'm going to speak from a perspective. Last week I said, you fall down and get up 8. There are some people who find themselves in positions. Let's just say, if someone is financially, set, or if someone is physically set, or even emotionally, as we were just talking. Sometimes when people reach a certain place, maybe they have not arrived, but they find themselves in a place of where they can look back and speak to those who may not have reach the place that they are. And I want to be careful, because as it relates to nutrition and fitness, that's been a roller coaster that I've been on for a very, very long time. When I've been on, I've been on, and when I've been off, I've really been off. And I'm going to go ahead and say it has to do with some of my psychological or emotional dysfunctions, because sometimes when life hits us on the blind side, as Les Brown would say, we don't know how to get up, and we don't always have the strength. That's why it's important to have a good support group, family and friends around us, who can encourage us when we start heading into that place of possible depression, or just emotionally disturbed stage. So with that being said, I was talking about it has no choice. You're wondering, what is he talking about? Well, I'm going to tell you. One time I have several people in my circle of fitness and nutrition, and I was working with a trainer. This had to be about 8-9 years ago, somewhere in there. And I was working out, and I was, on one of those upward modes of, getting in shape and just trying to live better, feel better, and look better and all that. And I remember training, and this trainer was successful. He had a proven track record, and I was under his tutelage for a little while. I think we worked out for maybe 6 or 8 weeks, and I did get results. But it's just like anything else. You can put the seed in the ground, but if you don't go back and weed and if you don't go back and harvest it or maintain it, you just wasted that seed in the ground. But so back to my point, I remember training one day with this trainer, and I said, I've never really been slim or skinny. I've been in better shape before, but I've always wanted to have this body that's inside of my head and this fitness level and inside my head. And I remember just asking, I said, would my body really change if I exercise and feed it right, like give it the proper nutrition and, just do these things, I see these people doing, and like you're telling me, will my body change? And his exact words were, it has no choice. That was deep for me then, and I'm resurrecting it now only because for the past 46 days, I have been on a regimen that has been at least consistent in this season, and I've gotten results. I'm down right at about just under 20 pounds since the first of the year. And I kind of get in trouble about talking about the scale. Well, I'll go a little step further than the scale. My clothes are definitely fitting a little loose, and I can feel it. My energy level is up. Of course, I'm tired now. I had a long weekend, had a fantastic gig on Saturday, and some wonderful people who supported me out in Cooper City, the Cooper City Cowboys. It was really good, a great success, and it just gave me a little more confidence in the music department because, I've been doing gigs here and there, but when I get to go to a hometown crowd where they open their arms and they receive me and they want more, it was just incredible. So I'm coming off of a long weekend and still traveling, and so I'm a little tired. I'm going to go right to sleep as soon as I hang up with you, which is going to be in another maybe 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 9, 10 minutes or so. But here's my closing point, and then I'm going to go on and let you go too. It has no choice. It goes with anything else. If you save your money, you will eventually get what it is you're saving for. If you work on anything long enough, and in the right way, consistency, you will reach your goal. As it relates to the fitness thing, we have to be accountable. And I'm in a good place today. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. I do know that before the first of the year, I was in not such a good place, and it was hard to get up. And that's why I guess once you get some success behind you, you don't want to go back. Because there's this saying I've heard, it says, if you want to stop failing or starting over, stop quitting. So I'm in a good place today. I'm feeling pretty good about myself and the success over the past 45 days or so. 20 pounds is nothing to shake a stick at. Well, it's something to shake a stick at. I don't know, whichever it is. It's good enough. I feel the difference. I see the difference. And I've even gotten a couple of compliments, and that's motivation within itself. So overall, yes, I do want to look and feel better, but ultimately I want to sustain my health and my quality of life, which is why I'm constantly making efforts to eat better and train better and work out. And I just wanted to share that with you in hopes that perhaps you might be in that place of where you might need some encouragement. And I'm going to say, I hear people on commercials often, and people who have arrived at their, success level, or at least close to it, or operating in it. And I don't want to be unreachable because I've got, 20 pounds behind me for probably the 10th time in my life, and I'm moving on. I do want to say this, that it's not easy at all. Not one of those mornings over the past 17 days that I ran every morning 3 to 4 miles. I wanted to get up at 5:30 to be finished and doing those workouts. We're never going to feel like it. It's never going to feel good. The mind is designed to protect the body and protect the soul altogether. So if you start doing anything that's out of your comfort zone, the first thing is going to happen is your mind is going to say, hey, I think we need to stop this, or let's get back on the couch, where it's cozy, and let's get a bucket of something good like some ice cream and some cookies, and let's just ride this thing out. We'll be okay. It's easy to do that, and you're wired to do that. but you have to rise above that comfort level. And the magic really is on the other side of putting the effort in. So I'm going to try to close and say, if you do what it is that you're supposed to do as it relates to anything, and just so happen I'm talking about fitness, if you do it, you will get the results. I'm a testimony for many times over, but in this season, I've got me about 19.75 pounds that I'm working on. Hopefully by the time I finish my 75 days, I'll be at the goal that I set, and I see no reason why I won't be. I'm excited about it. I do feel good. I'm excited about some of the clothes that I'm starting to be able to get back into, and it's just a proud moment. So I'm tooting my own mighty horn on this subject, and I do feel good about it. Thanks to all of my friends who have been supportive, of these many efforts, and especially this one. And with that being said, it has no choice. Whatever goals you set, if you put forth the effort, it has no choice. Your goals have no choice but to come to pass if you remain diligent and consistent and determined. Easy, right? You've heard it before. We all know what to do, but we don't have the motivation to do it. And if I had to go on a closing note, I would say, again, it's never going to be easy. It's going to be tough. But you've got to find that place of where you keep going no matter what. And there is definitely some magic on the other side of the struggle. Yes, I've got some things, and I'm going to say, I keep saying I'm going to let you go. It's amazing how, we go through tough times. And I heard this today. How did it say? Resistance. Whenever we face trials, I think the Bible says something about think it not robbery, or think it something when you fall into diverse temptation. And it, the paraphrase of that is, when you face tough times, it's those tough times that drive you to a place or a different place. Some people go down hard and don't come back up. Some people, when they do go down and hard and they do get back up, they use that fuel to invest in themselves. And that's what I've been doing. And there's a passage in the Bible. My mother used to say it a lot. She'd say, what the devil meant for bad, God can turn that into good. So yes, I've had some struggles, but I'm starting to see where that pain is turning into what I want it to be. I have a choice. I can go sit down and cry and, say, why is everybody always picking on me? Or I can say, get your apple head up and go do something. And the best thing you can do whenever you do fall into diverse temptation or you have struggles is to get through them. If you're here and you're watching and you're listening and you're still breathing, it's not over for you. You're here for a reason. And it's been said, and I'll say it one more time. You wouldn't get to it if you weren't meant to get through it. So with that being said, do what you're supposed to do, no matter what it is, wherever you are. I'm a testimony tonight for the past 45 little days that being consistent and determined has paid off. I do see some results. I'm excited about moving forward and continuing to encourage and pull those along who want to do the same thing, not just with fitness and nutrition, but just other goals that we set in life. So with that being said, here's hoping you had a wonderful day today. It's hump day, and you only have 2 more days. People get excited about the weekend. I get excited about every day. But I will say this, as I always say, as you make your way throughout the rest of the week, find someone you need to say, I love you. And that someone can also be you, because that's what I started to do. I said, I'm going to love myself. And I started to treat myself a little better. And here I am, 20 pounds down, y'all. Anyway, and I want to see you do the same thing. So send me some success stories and some thoughts, some ideas, some comments. to travisbridges2 at AOL.com. That's Travis Bridges and the number 2 at AOL.com. I'd love to talk to you about anything or a subject that you just throw up. It's just talk about talking, making sure we get a clear understanding of what's being said, what we're hearing, what we mean, what our other parties are saying, hearing, thinking, and meaning. Taking that information, processing it, digesting it, and taking some deep breaths. And I'm going to say this one more thing before I go. If I have one more thing to say, I'm going to knock my own self out. So stop it. The behavior of children is in all of us. And I remember this example being given at one time. Kids have a natural reaction to lie. That's kind of funny. It's like, okay, you see a kid in the other room and you hear something fall and it breaks. And you say, hey, Susie, did you break that? And they say, no. The first thing they do is, maybe not even realizing they're lying, but we have a natural tendency to move away from any kind of accusations that are not positive. And if someone's lying on you or someone's, speaking negatively or falsely about you, by all means, speak up for yourself. But if someone brings something to your attention and you analyze it, it's okay to say, okay, yeah, you might have a point. Nobody wants to feel bad, and I get that. I definitely don't. I say it all the time. I don't want to be proven wrong. But if someone can point out something where I can improve, I'm going to hear it, and I hope that I will continue to have that attitude. But when you're stuck in your ways and nothing is going to stop you, that may explain some kind of turmoil in some of us. I've been like that, and sometimes I slip. I find myself, being stubborn sometimes. It happens to all of us. But we have to do as the prodigal son did, come to ourselves and realize that, it's okay to not know everything and to not always have a squeaky clean image. With that being said, I'm really going to go now. Thank everybody for hanging out. Tony Morrow, Christine, and any and everybody else that will watch me. I appreciate it. I do have a plan. I've got some wonderful things that are on the way. I'm excited about them. And as my mother would say, if the Lord spurs my life, I've got some goals I'm looking forward to achieving. And I'm excited about them, even through the storms that I have to endure, just like you. So it has no choice. If you put the right ingredients in, you're going to get whatever it is you're constructing or working on. With that being said, have yourself a merry rest of the week. All right. Good night, everybody. I love you. I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me. Find somebody you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it, but mean it and show it, even if it's to the person that's in the mirror. Till the next time, good night.
SWYM. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do. I really like this song. Y'all check it out. Ben Sidran, Cool Side.
Sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone.
Yeah, it just seems that way, but it's not
But
true.
you got to keep on searching.
Yes, you do.
got to keep on.
Keep on.
For example,
take me. Standing right here today.
I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You got to keep on searching.
Keep it on the cool side. Keep on. Ooh, good night, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. Sure do appreciate it.